La parte del copa, nada más. Ya está cortado ya, la mitad, la mitad. Ya, que entonces esa.
Vamos directo, chicos. Comenzamos directo.
Creo que mire. Pueden ser que no nos escapamos. Lo voy a ir temprano.
Sí. Sí. Ojalá más. No sé si se escucha, voy a probar. No sé cómo funciona esto. Supongo que presentar el contenido. Aunque queda. Duplicar. Jugando. Listo. No se hace directo, chicos, no sé qué me quieren. Sí, sí, momento. Pantalla completa. Agregar. Pantalla. Sí, pantalla. Sí, está bien. Ya estamos. Virtual Live. No está, no. Vamos. No está cargando rápido, ya está listo. Ahí está. Pero ¿saben cómo se revisa el chat de YouTube a la vez? Oh. De repente. A ver, vamos a elegir la versión. Creo que no había en español, ¿no? Bueno, está bien, sí entiendo. Pero... Después tengo Steam, ¿no? Digamos, está en acceso anticipado y... Me corre el lío. Ahora vamos a ver. Story. ¿Cuál será? No te puedo decir. ¿Otra? creo que bajo mucho la cabeza. Story. Vamos a comenzar por el tutorial, supongo. No sé cómo hacer esto.
Anatoly,
What?
listen, you're the old one here. Why don't you tell me what really happened?
Old? Watch your mouth, kid.
Well, I don't know the whole truth, but I'll tell you what I can. They say that not long before the catastrophe struck, people all over the world began to find strange things, stones more often than not, which emitted unidentified particles. As for where
O sea, lo
these
que
things
entiendo
came
ahora es
from,
que
nobody could say
identificaron
for
una
certain.
roca como ven
A
en la
theory
imagen.
almost immediately emerged that it was this radiation that led to animals mutating.
Dice que tenía
An
radiación,
international
que no hubo
organization was
mutaciones.
formed, as was so
Claro,
fashionable
fue
back
un gran
then, the
descubrimiento.
so-called Worldwide Scientific Council. This organization studied how this unknown radiation caused living organisms to mutate. And of course, the first thing that they did was think up a name for the particles and for the radiation itself.
O sea, no saben para crear energía, ni crear mutaciones.
There were still a few mutated animals back then, and they were like cute kittens compared to the beasts that roam the wastelands now. But the first
No,
research
that's-
projects confirmed that this NDP radiation causes serious
No.
mutations in
La
animals.
piel comienza a
As for
mutar.
people, for some reason the radiation affected them entirely differently. Even a small amount applied to damaged tissue caused
Ah,
it to
o sea, lo curaba.
regenerate far more quickly. The body quickly recovered from illnesses. And
Dice que
even
era un proceso
serious wounds
complicado.
could be healed using nothing but this radiation. On top of that, many other positive attributes were observed in practically all areas of science. The scientists couldn't have been happier. It was like manna from heaven to them.
Claro.
The discoveries
Dinero,
came one
dinero,
after
dinero.
the other. New instruments
Okay.
and medicine. They learned to use sources of the radiation as power sources. How do you think some devices still work to this day? And thought up all kinds of other uses for it. But then, one fine day, the catastrophe struck. I was still just a kid back then. All I remember
No,
is
catástrofe
multicolored
comenzó.
rays appearing in the sky. Then everything
Bien.
suddenly went dark. I heard heavy peals of thunder, the heaviest I'd ever heard. The wind picked up.
Como una bomba
Stone
atómica,
fell from
¿no?
the sky. It was terrifying. The cities were in the grip of panic and chaos. The people trampled each other, running wherever they could, just trying to find cover. It was a horrible sight. My mother and I hid in our basement, and my father tried to save as many people as he could. Then it all suddenly stopped. The night of nightmares was over, and day broke. Wow! And then what happened? Just listen and don't interrupt. Many people died that night. All the largest cities were destroyed. All that we call civilization had turned to dust. It was like we'd gone back to the Stone Age in a single instant. All humanity's problems disappeared. Everyone in
Dice
the
que
world
toda la humanidad
suddenly had the
empezó a
same
desaparecer.
goal, to survive. That was when
Y tenía que buscar forma de sobrevivir.
they surged into the cities that remained whole
No.
in huge packs, destroying everything alive in their path. In those days, our already
Claro, los
diminished
monstruos,
species.
las mutaciones.
But there were cities that could withstand the monsters. The military was able to lead the people. They began to unite, protect their ruined cities from the mutants, and find other
No,
survivors.
no es.
Thus was the Confederation born.
Claro, tenía que
The
refugiarse.
Confederation's primary goal
Ahí está el
back
logo
then
del
was to
juego.
find scientists who worked on the WSC projects. They even managed to find surviving laboratories where scientists still labor away to this day. Thanks to the scientists, they managed to partially restore the research performed on NDP radiation before the catastrophe, and even to make use of some of the technologies. For example, the scientists managed to create special NDP
Dice que los científicos comenzaron a
which
buscar
alter the
formas de
radiation to
utilizar
form
la
something like a
la
protective
radiación, la
field.
nueva
The
tecnología al
mutants
favor.
fear the field like fire and won't enter it. That's how the domes above our cities were created. They protect us from the monsters. There's one more thing that the old world left to us. Teleporters. As far as I know, it's some sort of old military tech. Only a few of them were put into testing. The initial plan for the teleporters was this. to provide fast troop movement, deliver ammunition, and transport to the battlefield and treat the wounded. But the scientists were unable to iron out all the defects before the catastrophe hit, so only one function
Las
remained.
personas.
And even that doesn't work right. It doesn't pick up the wounded, just the dead. And not everywhere. Only in a zone of reliable reception, and even the transportation process itself is a big gamble. You're lucky if something is just missing from your backpack after you're teleported. You could turn up missing an arm or a leg, or even not turn up at all. Long story short, those things are dangerous. I remember once having the bad luck of finding a herd of wild boar outside the city. Not surprisingly.
Bueno. Bien entendimos que todo comenzó una desmadrillida. Supongo que había que comenzar a jugar. Ah, voy a ver. Cierto, cierto.